about the 1 year wait between shows. With the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, things got a little weird around here. Both my businesses were basically shut down, which meant that I had to do all the work myself because I couldn't afford to pay anybody. I had just literally had to do everything myself. And then once I finally got everything caught up, since there was no work, sooner or later you got caught up, I went through a little period where I was not necessarily depressed, but I had no motivation to do the show, which is really weird because I love doing the show. But I ended up doing other things. The Don't Know Show, which used to be called What Happened to the World Today, we changed the name to the Don't Know Show. Look it up. We've gotten even better. It's the Don't with an apostrophe, No, K-N-O-W, show. Put parentheses on the, or not quotation marks, put quotation marks front and back of that. When you go to YouTube, it'll come up number one. We've been doing the show now. We've got 379 shows. The 379th show just aired. So that's how much fun we're having with that. So, but today we're going to actually do cooking, which is what you're here for because you're a Fun Guys foodie. What we are going to do is we're going to do a series. The first thing is we're going to cook a beef tenderloin. Beef tenderloin is one of the most tender parts of the cow. This is what it is. It's a long piece. What you're going to need is you need the beef tenderloin. You're going to need a frying pan. This is not a very good quality frying pan. By the way, that reminds me, I did finally break down and buy a cutlery set and a cookware set. I got the Calphalon stuff. It's as close to professional grade quality as you can get. Much, much, much more better. For instance, here is one of the knives. Very nice balance and sharp. Holy cow, is this sharp. I accidentally, when I was cutting going fast, moved my hand underneath the blade and caught a little piece just like that. Cut. So it reminds me of the old days. I had to be much, much more careful when I'm doing this kind of stuff. So again, you need a frying pan. You're going to need a baking pan. If you have a cast iron frying pan, that works the best. I'm going to buy one. I almost bought one before the show, but it would have taken too long to get here and I needed to cook this meat. So then you need olive oil, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. I'm going to do my my asparagus, but I'm not going to do the one that's on the show. I'm going to do a pan-fried asparagus. You cook it in butter. It's not exactly the healthiest, but it is so freaking awesome. So I'll cook that later. I don't know. Some of it will probably end up being on the show. But here's what you need to do. The first thing you need to do is preheat the oven to 350 degrees. So we're going to turn it on, and this particular oven automatically goes to 350 the first time you start it. Then you need to take the roast out of its vacuum sealed wrap. It tears really easy once you cut the end off. Now, I believe we talked about this before, but if you're new to the show and you just started to look at this sort of stuff, there are two different cutting boards here. This blue one is the only one I use for cutting meat on, period. The other pastel colors are cutting vegetables and stuff like that. You don't want to ever, ever, ever cut raw meat on the same thing you cut vegetables on, ever. It's terrible. Okay, this is where it gets kind of hairy. I'm gonna actually try to move this over here. I don't know. No, it's probably not a good idea. Let's try this. I'm a little worried about the juices getting all over, but I want this a little bit more centered. The problem with the tenderloin, I got this on a really good deal. It's normally like $15 a pound. It was on sale for $7 a pound, but it's not trimmed. What that means is there is this skin layer here. You don't want this on here. It's like rubber, so you want to cut it off. It's not that difficult to cut off, but you have to be careful. You got to take your time doing it. What I do is I get a start on one end. Then I start to lift it up as I trim it. Now, you're not going to get it all. That's okay. You know, because just like any good piece of meat, you're going to have a little bit in it of, tough stuff in it. The other thing is, sometimes you get a little bit of meat. What I like to do is save that meat to feed the cats, because this is good quality stuff. And every once in a while, they're carnivores. They like, when they eat a mouse, that mouse is not cooked. Yes, I know that sounds a little gross, but mice get eaten by cats. They really do. Okay. This piece here is a little harder to cut than I'm used to. The last one I did last week to practice on this, because it's been so long, I want to make sure I had it down pat. The skin layer was thin, and it was just one little piece. This one's much larger. Now, watch how I do this. I scrape this down as I pull up. And I'm going to cut this across here. See how hard that is? You don't want that in your mouth. The rest of this is unbelievably tender, so I'm not used to having it be this challenging. And I don't want to shred this too much. Yes, the cats are going to be happy, but still, even at $7 a pound, this is not cheap. All right, I'm going to try from this end, see maybe we'll have a little better luck. And again, because how sharp this knife is, I got to be really careful. So what I'm going to do is spin it around like a smart guy. By the way, this tenderloin has been sitting on the counter for an hour. You want it to be out for an hour so it starts to get closer to room temperature. It'll cook quicker and more uniform. There, see, this is how it was supposed to come apart. I don't know why that other side was so hard. Okay. Perfect. This is what I like. Having all these little notches cut in the meat from the blade is not going to hurt anything. There we go. Look at that. Now we'll try pulling on it. Perfect. This is that hard stuff here. This is the stuff that's going to make the cats happy once I trim the meat off of that. Got a little piece here that we missed. Okay. If it wasn't for the fact that you need to see this so you could understand that it does take time, I could have pre-trimmed this. But you know me, I like to show you guys stuff. Because wouldn't it suck if you went to do this and you didn't know how hard it was and you only allotted, 2 minutes for trimming and it takes 10? Mm-hmm. Okay, a little bit more here. And we almost have it. Okay. This is raw meat. We're not going to throw that away. We're going to give that to the cats. This is almost no meat. This is just the, that, I don't know exactly what it's called. I should probably looked it up so I could have told you what it's called. It's not really skin. It's a type of gristle, fatty gristle, that separates the meat from, the other parts of the cow. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to worry about this little bit here. Like I said, a little bit's not going to hurt anything. All right. This is for the cats. This goes in the garbage. Oops. Put it in here for now so it's out of the way. Do a quick wash on the fingers so I can pick up. Well, that was pointless. All right, here's what we need to do. We need to pour a little bit of olive oil in the pan. There's a little bit of juice from the meat, which is okay too. Then we're going to start both burners at medium. The reason you want to go medium, if you have a cast iron pan, go medium high. This is not cast iron. This pan is going to start to bowl when it gets hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle salt on the top and sides. And the onion powder. Oops, that went out a little heavy. The garlic. This is garlic powder with some parsley in it. I thought I'd try it. I like it. I'm probably going to use it for more stuff. And pepper. Again, I used the coarse ground pepper. For the for my regular people, you're used to that. All right, you see this is starting to boil, cook right here. That's what you want. And we're going to put this seasoned side down. Okay. Put this in the sink to get it out of the way. While this side is cooking, we're gonna season the other side. Same way. Sprinkle the salt on. The onion powder. Close it up so I'm done with it now. That was the garlic, not the onion. This is the onion here. And the pepper. Okay, you heard that the oven just came up to temp, which is awesome. I've already pan sprayed this pan. You definitely want to pan spray it. What we're doing here is we're searing the outside of this meat. It only takes like 2 minutes per side. It's not that difficult. And because of the fact that we are doing this on a non-stick frying pan, I am going to use, actually, this is big. I have used the big tongs. This is actually my grill tongs. But, there we go. We're going to need this, I'm sure. Actually, we're probably going to use both. So what we'll do is we'll pick this up like this. And flip it. All right, see how that browned up really nice? That's what you want. I can put this away. Actually, I'll wash it really quick. Okay. Once this is done, we're going to do the sides. The sides will go a lot faster because, again, you're just searing it, keep the juices in. We're going to put it in the pan, put it in the oven for 30 minutes. I have 2 different thermometers. Excuse me a second. This one here can go right in the oven. You can stick it in the meat and put it right in the oven. I'm not going to use this because this is not really thick enough for that. This is my instant digital meat thermometer. Literally, you open it up, wait till it turns on, you stick it in here, and in 2 seconds it tells you what your temperature is. We want this to go to 140 degrees. So, we're going to do 30 minutes, we're going to pull it out and check it. And it's going to be close. It's going to take 30 to 45 minutes for this to cook. You don't want a tenderloin cooked well done. You do not. Most people would actually want it medium rare. So we're going to come pretty close to the medium rare. We're going to go with 140, which is technically medium, but I guarantee you when I cut it, it'll still be nice and red on the inside. This time I don't need that. Put it on that side. There we go. And then we'll put it in the oven. Put it on the pan and put it in the oven. That's it for now, and we'll come back a little later. All right, Funguy foodies, it's all done. It went exactly, well, I went 35 minutes. It was pretty close to 30, but I went a little bit more. It's now at 142 degrees, which is beautiful. This is what it looks like when it's cooked. Okay? And of course, I'm cooking the pan fried. All this is really simple. You cut the ends off the asparagus. You rinse the asparagus. Throw the asparagus in the pan while it's still wet, so you got a little bit of water in the bottom. And you put a quarter of a stick of butter on the top. On medium heat, you turn it on medium heat, and then you just literally do this every once in a while to spread everything around. Now, while this is resting, you want it to rest for 10 for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how things are going, before you cut it. While it's doing that, this is basically done, so we'll turn it off, and we'll sprinkle a little bit of salt on top. Actually, some of it got a little burnt because I was naughty and I went out of the room, and you never go out of the room on asparagus. But even burnt, it still tastes really good. That's the cool thing about asparagus. So I've already turned the heat off. This is just gonna sit while this is sitting, and then you serve it. Normally you'd have potatoes or a rice or pasta dish with this. I'm not gonna do that today because we've got enough food here as it is. Don't need any more starches today. So that's all there is to it. So I'll take some pictures and put that at the end of the show as normal. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out the Don't Know Show. You can listen to that as a podcast, which is really awesome. And Steve's in New York, Las Vegas. So hope you enjoyed the show. I look forward to seeing you again. This is Funguy the Entertainer, cooking for you.